Hey, welcome everybody. It is Monday the 19th, day 19 of Vlogmas. I'm so excited you're here with us today, and I am all the more excited because, as I'm probably going to say a few times in this video, my daughter is arriving later today, and we are so excited. I can't wait to see her and spend a few days with her. Yay! But we're going to do some fun things that we're going to share on videos with you too. We're going to go take her downtown and see some of the Christmas sights, go to some places that I'm sure she'll enjoy. We're even going to try, I hope we can do this, we're going to try to get in a carriage ride and tour around the historic area. And that should be really fun and very, well, it's a touristy thing to do, but it seems to me that it's a holiday thing to do too, even though it happens year-round here in Charleston. Yay, we're looking forward to it. Hey, so stick around and watch what we've got for you today. All right, it is Monday the 19th. And look at that, let's put that on the tree right up there. Now, I am really excited today because it's Monday and we're going to be picking up our daughter soon at the airport. And I know that she's gonna come home here to the house and she's gonna move all of these up to here. And you know what? I'm good with that. I am good with that for two reasons. Two reasons. One is she's here and I'll let her do just about anything she wants. And two, I can handle single-digit math. I can count down to the days of Christmas from here. I don't do so well from there. I want to make for you something that's a really big deal in our family food-wise. And it really expresses part of the joy of families coming together and blending them in the heritage of where foods come from. So Diane's brother married a wonderful woman, and she brought with her into the family 40 years ago now?
Yeah, they've been married over 40 years.
They've been married over 40 years. And so early on, she brought into the family this food item that has never missed a holiday since, I think, at least since I've been in the family for 36 years, 38 years, pre-marriage, yeah, at Christmas. And now we make it even more throughout the year because even though it's special for the holidays, we realize, wait, it's too good not to have more often. So now that I've set it up, what it's called is the weirdest name. We call it shrimp mold, which sounds gross whenever the word mold is used. But it's because it's poured into and shaped in a mold, a Jell-O mold. But it is a shrimp schmear, a shrimp. It's too thick to be a dip, but it's something that we put on crackers or bagels, mini bagels, or toast rounds. Vegetables, but like celery sticks or whatever. And so it is, the basic core ingredients are cream cheese, shrimp, and tomato soup. There are other ingredients here as well. Let me go ahead and show you the handwritten recipe that I have, and then I'm doubling it because we just like it so much, and we like it through the holidays. Diane likes it most breakfasts on a bagel.
It means the holidays are here.
Yes, there you go. Did you hear that? To Diane, it means the holidays are here. Now that means that when she's really feeling like she needs Christmas in July, guess what gets made? Again, we make it now more often. It's easy to make too, but I want to share it with you. I'm doubling the recipe. Here is the recipe right there. It's got Knox gelatin, which holds it together, tomato soup, packages of cream cheese, mayonnaise, chopped onion, chopped celery, and baby shrimp. Now in California, our baby shrimp is just more like little shrimp pieces and very small. I can't find that here in Charleston, and they only sell this size of shrimp called salad shrimp. It's fine. You can make with any size. If you only have bigger shrimp, cut it up into small pieces, but I'm leaving that size.
And we've had this made with crab and lobster.
Yeah, it can be made with other seafoods, and I've seen the recipe with the crab and lobster without the tomato soup if you want a white version. But I think that the creamy, pinky
like
orange version
cocktail
looks
sauce.
nice. It looks like a cocktail
And
sauce.
it, yeah, it does look Christmassy.
Yeah, so it's just really good. And those of you who don't like mayonnaise, I swear to you, you don't taste it. It just adds the fat content that so much food needs. It makes it rich and delicious, yes. So there's green onion and celery that are diced, and then there is cream cheese. And then we have these particular Tupperware molds that we spray with a pan. Now, here's what I do on this recipe. The recipe has 1 package of gelatin. I find that when I double it, if I only double it to 2 packages of gelatin, it doesn't thicken enough and it becomes just a little too soft to spread. And so I use 3 things of gelatin dissolved in warm water before I add. Tomato soup cans are not the same size as when this recipe was made, and so I use 3 cans, which may be why I need more gelatin, because I might be a little heavy on the tomato soup. And when this recipe was made, it was 3 small packages of cream cheese. We think back then that they were 4-ounce packages. Now they don't serve them that way. So we felt it was a total of 12 ounces. So when I double the recipe, I need 24 ounces of cream cheese. These are normal doubled, 1.5 cups from 3/4 cup, and 2 cups of mayonnaise instead of 1, and 2 pounds of shrimp instead of 1. All we do now is we just put it in the pot. The main thing for the cooking, well, I'll show you in the pot. All right, the first thing we do is I turn the heat on to a medium heat, put the soup in, and then I'm going to add the cream cheese. You can cut it up into smaller chunks, but you know what? It melts so fast. Really, I don't bother. It's just an extra step, I think. Put all the cream cheese in, and then as you're stirring it around, you can break it down, and it will melt off and blend. And towards the end, after the really big chunks are gone, then I take this to do a really good blend on it. But right now, I'm just gonna let it heat through and start to melt, and stir more than occasionally, but not constantly. Get it to blend up. I'm gonna let it heat through and melt down the cream cheese a little bit. While that's happening, I'm going to dissolve the gelatin in some warm water. All right, I'm dissolving the gelatin, and this is starting. You can hear the little bubbles come up every once in a while, and that's kind of when I stir it just to make sure that it doesn't burn and that the cream cheese starts to break down in the tomato soup. Now, something I learned watching the Great British Baking Show is that when you do use gelatin, it's important that you bring something to a good boil of full heat. Otherwise, the gelatin apparently doesn't set fully proper as it cools. I didn't know that. And I assume it's accurate because it was on the Great British Baking Show.
It's educational television.
Yes, at its finest.
At its finest.
Although it's no longer on PBS. It's on Netflix. So maybe it's not at its finest anymore.
Stop!
All right, so I'm going to pour that in there. Do you have multiple sizes of little whisks? We do. We have so many kitchen gadgets. But you could use a fork. You could use a full-size whisk. All right, the cream cheese chunks are still a good size, so I'm not ready to put the whisk in there. Although you can, but then you find that the cream cheese sticks in the whisk and it's more challenging to mix it up. I've done it for years that way and it always bugged me. So now that I've got these silicone spatulas, I just use that to break things down. And see, that becomes a nice pleasant color. I guess it's sort of like the concept of New York clam chowder versus New England clam chowder. The red versus the white. And we like the tomato base with the shrimp. It's really nice. Okay, it's blended nicely, but I do need to make sure it comes to that boil so that the gelatin will set properly. Okay, it's starting to bubble up. I want to stir so that it doesn't get too much of the cooked skin. Okay, we're going to turn the heat off and remove it from the heat so that it can cool. Well, the recipe says that it needs to come to pretty close to room temperature before you add the mayonnaise and the shrimp and the vegetables. I'll be honest, I get a bit impatient and I rarely wait that long. But I usually put the shrimp in a little bit cold. They're supposed to be thawed, but often the shrimp I put in is just a little bit of freeze left to it, and that cools it down. But you don't want to put the shrimp in fully thawed into this heat, because then the shrimp will get overcooked, and you want the shrimp to be tender. Okay, as it's cooling, it puts a skin on top, and so I stir it every once in a while just because I don't want the skin to get too intense. I just blend it back in because it's warm enough, the skin goes away. And when you add the other ingredients, the skin won't be so bad, but I don't know, it just kind of, it grosses me out a bit, so I want to get rid of it. Okay, it's cooled down where the pan is just slightly warm to the touch. I'm going to blend in the skin again, and then I'm going to add the mayonnaise. Once that's blended in well, we're going to just add the shrimp and the vegetables. The onion adds the nice contrast of color as well as obviously flavor. And the celery has a very mild flavor, but it adds a nice crunch. So on your cracker or bagel, that little crunch is very nice. And that's it. We're going to put it in the ring molds. Okay, so we mentioned the ring molds that you could use, thus the name shrimp mold. But if you don't want to bother with a presentation like that, you just want it to serve, you could scoop some of this out into, individual serving bowls, or so you just make it in a big bowl, big giant Tupperware, Rubbermaid, whatever type container. But this would be for a nice presentation. We'll put this in there, and then you put it out on the plate. Diane will put some crackers or toast rounds, some greenery in the center, and it looks really nice. And we'll show it to you when it's all done and give you a sense of that. But this, you don't need to put too much spray in here, because this center ring opens up and allows the air to cause it to break free from the mold. But if you were using a copper mold or another type of mold that didn't open up like that, you need to have some non-stick so that it will come out easily. You want to mix it up before you pour it in so that the shrimp haven't settled to the bottom too badly. You want to make sure it goes out evenly. I just kind of pour it in. It's very soupy right now. I might have to take a little bit out of there, and then I just put some in a little bowl, the extra in a bowl, so that we don't lose any of it. It's too good to waste. I need to take a little out, like I said, so that the lid will go on and seal shut. And by putting the lid on there or good plastic wrap, you prevent the skin from forming, which again would just be unattractive. All right, we want to put the lids on them, pop them in the refrigerator. You want to make this at least 24 hours in advance, but I'll tell you right now, it'll set pretty well, and Diane will dig into this tomorrow well before 24 hours. She loves this a lot. Here it is, out of the mold, all ready to go. It's nice and firm, a little bit of bounce to it. That little bowl that we made, Diane already tasted, said it was a great batch. So you can put it on a platter like this, put greenery around it or in the center, dress it up a little bit, put crackers nearby, vegetables, different things you want to serve it with, and enjoy. I did do a search on Google for shrimp mold just to see, and sure enough, there are lots of recipes out there, and they're all called shrimp mold. Despite the less than ideal sounding name, that's what it's known as. The recipes vary a little bit from ours, but basically the same. And I hope you'll make it and enjoy. Monday, December 19th. What do we got in here? Oh, that's pretty. Did some sort of a gold stamp on there. Little elves that are all over the front of the box. Nice. And 19 is over here. Santa's shoulder. Oh, and one of those little guys. He's holding a doggy. She is so excited. What are you going back there for? Come around. What do we have in box number 19? Oh, the pretzel shaped ones, huh? Oh my, let's take a taste of those for you. Okay, you ready? There you go. Yes, that go. Oh, you saw a second one in my hand. You're like, you're putting two in your mouth at the same time. That's a bit greedy. Yes, it is. All right, today, December 19th, we are so excited because we are picking up our daughter from the airport later this morning. And I am just giddy with excitement. I haven't seen her for a few months, and be nice to spend some holiday time with her. So it's going to be great. And I will do my best to get videos uploaded each day. I really don't want to take a break at all. But ultimately, when push comes to shove, spending some time with my daughter is an extremely high value. And I think that you'll understand. So just if one's missing, you'll know why. But my intention is to do it. She'd probably sleep in later than me, and I'll do them early in the morning to get them up. All right, so we are looking at our passage as we continue in Luke chapter 2, and we're looking at verse 36 through 40. And when Jesus is being presented at the temple, and Mary and Joseph met Simeon, as we read yesterday, it goes on to say that there was also a prophet named Anna. She was in the temple, and she had been there for many, many years. She was an older woman of 84 years old, and her husband had died when they had only been married 7 years. And again, remember that in Jewish tradition at that time of the world, these girls were married at 11, 12, 13. So she has been in the temple probably for 64 years, assuming her husband died when she was around 20 years old. She stayed there day and night, it says. She worshiped God with fasting and prayer. And she came along just as Simeon was talking with Mary and Joseph, and she then began praising God. She talked about the child to everyone who had been waiting expectantly for God to rescue Jerusalem. And then it says, when Jesus' parents had fulfilled all the requirements of the law of the Lord, they returned home to Nazareth in Galilee. And here's the doctor. Here's Luke. He's a doctor. Here's his take on things, as he said. There the child grew up healthy and strong. He was filled with wisdom, and God's favor was on him. So that's pretty cool. Again, a takeaway for that is just that, again, this long-awaited expectation, and that we should not give up hope. We should continue to look forward to what God wants to do in our lives, and particularly through Christ. Okay, well, I hope... Oh, look who wants to come up here. Come here, doggy. Come here. There you go. Did you want to say hi to everybody? Yeah, you did. So I hope that you were enjoying this. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for being with us. And please go and try that shrimp dip, mold, whatever you want to call it. It is so good. We're already enjoying it. Yes, we started, it's for Christmas, but we started eating it already. Again, we made a double batch, so it'll get us through the holidays. And I hope that you'll enjoy it as well. Bye-bye. Be good to others. Yes.